Event catering is an intense, high-pressure environment defined by extreme speed, relentless heat, and the constant demand for absolute perfection. In this setting, the line between success and a catastrophic failure is determined by how the team handles complaints and last-minute changes. Every event starts with the Banquet Event Order, or BEO. This document functions as the definitive blueprint, locking in the specific quantities, room layouts, and precise timing that every department relies on for execution. But that rigid blueprint rarely survives contact with the floor. Human unpredictability guarantees discrepancies between the signed contract and the actual event. This creates a central operational tension, determining how an organization absorbs these structural disruptions without suffering a cascading failure. This diagram illustrates the solution: a decentralized, networked ecosystem. Instead of relying entirely on a top-down chain of command, staff nodes link together to route resources instantly. True world-class hospitality does not mean preventing challenges. It requires architecting a system capable of rapid, invisible recovery. When a guest receives an undercooked steak or experiences slow service, they usually bring it up right at the table. That interaction makes the server the first line of defense in the ecosystem. Professional servers use the LEAST method: listen, empathize, apologize, solve, and thank. Listen and empathize acknowledge the guest's frustration. Then the protocol shifts to immediate action: apologize and solve. During this process, there is a strict rule: the server must never become defensive or shift blame onto the kitchen. The required physical action is immediate. Without hesitation, the server simply removes the flawed plate from the table. From there, a mandatory escalation protocol kicks in. The server alerts the banquet captain, passing ownership up the chain. The captain then sends an accelerated request directly to the lead line cook. When a guest sees a manager personally take responsibility for a mistake, the interaction shifts from a transaction to a demonstration of care. This high-touch recovery often creates a stronger impression than a standard error-free meal ever could. While single-plate errors are handled efficiently through vertical escalation, systemic event disruptions fall on the event coordinator and the sales manager. Imagine a client decides 30 minutes before the grand entrance that they want to move the champagne toast from the foyer to the main ballroom. The banquet manager must approach this request with a mandatory yes-first mentality. The professional standard requires securing a solution before anyone debates the logistics of making the change. Executing a massive shift requires a flat hierarchy. A vertical chain of command creates a communication lag, stalling labor reallocation. Instead, the event coordinator sends simultaneous lateral signals directly to the head houseman and bar manager to act instantly. The head houseman immediately mobilizes a team of porters who begin physically relocating heavy wooden tables and delicate glassware across the hall. Simultaneously, the bar manager reallocates the bartenders to the new room. Empowering department heads to assess labor and act laterally allows the operational network to reconfigure physical resources without panicking the client. Behind closed doors, a professional kitchen during peak service hours is defined by continuous, rapid, and precise motion. Kitchens are designed for strict precision and predictability, which heavily contrasts with the chaotic reality of live events. External factors, like a late-running keynote speaker, can derail an entire service timeline. To survive this, the executive chef relies on a mathematical fail-safe, the operational buffer. This indicator ring illustrates a 5 to 10% overage in prep materials, built beyond the guaranteed headcount. This built-in surplus allows sous chefs and line cooks to absorb sudden change orders without breaking their momentum. That surplus is especially critical for the most frequent disruption in modern catering: unannounced dietary restrictions arriving at the table. Instead of scrambling to build a dish, the kitchen uses a silent menu protocol, where the special diet chef has premium vegan and gluten-free options pre-staged and ready to fire. Structural over-preparation ensures these dietary needs are met seamlessly, guaranteeing that the guest never feels like an afterthought. Beneath the kitchen and the floor lies a foundational, yet often invisible, layer of the ecosystem: the steward and dishwashing team. Any timeline delay or menu pivot on the floor cascades directly into the dish pit. If a sudden change requires a specific type of unstaged glassware, the washing queue must adapt instantly. This routing diagram shows how the lead steward redirects workflow. Dirty inventory changes path based on priority alert icons. If a complaint about a spotty glass reaches the banquet manager, a warning triggers on the output line. The steward team must immediately rectify the washing process to regain quality control. Even during extreme operational acceleration, the team must maintain strict organizational and cleanliness standards. The agility of the kitchen and the floor staff is entirely dependent on this resilient infrastructure in the heart of the house. Without clean vessels, the entire system halts. When you observe a fully set, pristine grand banquet hall operating perfectly, you are watching the efficient flow of professional hospitality. That flow is supported by 3 pillars. First, decentralized lateral coordination prevents bottlenecks during a crisis. Second, structural culinary buffers absorb systemic timeline shocks before they ever hit the floor. And third, algorithmic complaint escalation secures long-term guest loyalty. Challenges, discrepancies, and unannounced variables are inevitable in event management, but these 3 pillars convert unpredictable interruptions into integrated, manageable elements of the service flow. Holding it all together requires internal communications that remain continuously transparent, crisp, and respectful. True professional excellence is defined by the invisible efficiency of the system, where response complexity is hidden behind a polished, seamless guest experience.